And suddenly all advertising houses have some 8 lamps in their house, because there are lamps everywhere. I get angry, when I see this kind of, and people are celebrating it, and then they call it craft. I'm like, God,
I have a little personal question though. Like, do you have a staircase love story? Like, was that silk also inspired from?
I have a lot of failed love stories on staircase and outside it. Let's put it this way.
Multiple locations.
The location was never the problem. So the dangerous ones are people like Ramsam. Not people like Ramsam.
Ramsam.
No, they have a way of narrating. And I am trying to avoid narration from these guys because even if there's nothing, they're reading the news now, they'll make it sound so good. You think this is an amazing script.
Recently I was narrating the same to PhonePe only, and because I improvised on the spot and Burma said, please don't go by this guy's acting. In one PPM, the client, Vinil, if you're confident, then you go with it. And then Vinil is like, confident is not my virtue. It's like,
I tell clients, don't look for confidence on my face because I am a real troubled soul.
But why do you think you guys have so many observations? Like this talcum powder thing, I think I would have seen it in life, but I don't think I would have noted it down. I don't know if I have seen life in that lens. Maybe because we were internet kids also.
Trying to recreate a real conversation at home is an art by itself.
Yeah.
But people write, so what did you think, Rupa, about the new school? And she said, I had an absolutely thoroughly enjoyable time. Who the hell speaks like this?
You have a steel plate, but if you have an actor who's coming and who's got perfect nails and is eating rice
Correct.
then it's a full disaster.
Yeah.
So then I just tell them, please take a spoon and take an SECA plate. It's got crockery.
SECA plate, correct.
It's like full of ideas, it's not writing dialogues, it's just coming up with the idea, coming with an observation, an insight, and that's such amazing fertile territory to then dive into and jointly create something, So
it's a thrilling process when people are just throwing ideas and suddenly
and I think when somebody experiences it one time, it's like a taste of blood. They will love it.
That is
and
the biggest
like, this is such a fun thing.
Rest is all execution.
Yeah, execution.
Welcome back to Can I Just Record This, where we have curious conversations with creative minds. This is, although kind of a continuation with our live session at IFP, Mumbai, where we were in conversation with Rajesh, Ramaswamy, Ramsam and Vinil Mathew. And honestly, it would have been unjustified if we left it at that 40-minute conversation. And being the podcast that we are, we like to have longer, more deeper, more curiouser conversations.
Interesting.
Yes. Please welcome back our guest today. Our first guest is Vinil Mathew. He is a director and a co-founder at Breathless Films. He has done iconic work for brands like Dairy Milk, Maggie, Nescafe, MP Tourism. Some of my favorite works have been by you. And so thank you so much for being here. We're just two people looking at. And our second guest today is my boss and co-founder at Script Room and a director at Coconut Films, the creator of multiple OG films for like Paperboard, Tanishq, PhonePe. Anywhere where you've been like, who's written this? It's probably him or he knows who has written it.
Thanks for reminding me that I'm your boss. I almost forgot.
Please welcome Rajesh Ramaswamy or Ramsam, and going forward we'll only call you Ramsam.
Fast clap.
Amazing. Okay, thank you for being here. And for giving us a whole day of your life for shooting this podcast. So I think the first thing I really want to know about is, as a creative, is there any instance from your childhood or your life that you were dying to use in a film? That you were dying to place somewhere else?
No, I don't think there is a specific incident as such, but I keep mining my childhood. I unabashedly use my childhood and my growing up years and whatever I've seen. Because there is so much wealth of very unique insights and lived in memories that it will be criminal if I don't do it. When I was growing up in Delhi and I used to live in this, my dad was in the government, so we used to live in his government quarters, and two buildings were connected by a bridge. There was a kind of a path connecting these two buildings, and there'll be 4 houses and then this little corridor which is there in between. and the steps used to be open. And I have spent a lot of my years sitting on the steps late night. Used to be cricket there. We used to watch, lie down there, play there, talk there, chat there. Like, it was just, everything was outside the house. All doors were open and we would just spend our time as kids, gossip, fight, play football, create a racket. Like, when exams would get over, all the kids and their parents would be on that corridor. That was just a festive, like a spot where everybody would just come. So now whenever I look for houses or apartments, I hate the modern apartments which are all closed and shut and there's no absolutely...
And over here there's only that Mysore colony which is the closest which comes to correct.
No, and this is actually an apartment, and when you're looking for a community interaction, nowadays you see the staircase is away from, it's a fire escape, it's away from your lift, so it's a closed thing. So I keep looking for houses which have something open, like staircases, corridors connect, because it's so part of my growing up. So a lot of Cadbury's silk, if you'll notice, the one where his mother-in-law is wearing jeans, you'll have a house which has had that kind of, corridor. There's another silk, the first silk ad where this girl is sitting on a stairs and happy.
Correct.
It's all from memories.
I have a little personal question though. Like, do you have a staircase love story? Like, was that silk also inspired from?
I have a lot of failed love stories on staircase and outside it. Let's put it this way.
The multiple locations.
The location was never the problem. I think the person was the problem. But I think having failed or being so unsuccessful in my pursuit of love, I have been able to partially successfully incorporate it into my films.
Amazing. At least you got something out of it.
Yeah. Something came out of it.
But what about you? Is there a childhood story you really want to plug in?
Specific as such, but like Vinil, I think even I grew up in a colony and it was a very different kind of environment. So I am like very obsessed with 90s and that whole old world. We had great fun and I always try and find opportunities where how can I recreate that. But many of those things which happened, I don't think I can use them. It's so unusable. Like, for example, at that time, video cassette libraries were huge, man, where, you would wait to get that latest film there and go over there. And it used to be some 10 rupees rent per day. And obviously, we can't afford that shit. So, there's one Gupta video cassette library near my house. So, we went in the summer holidays and me and my friends, we went and struck one deal with him saying that, why we'll do door delivery. So we'll take all the latest cassettes and we'll go from door to door, and he would take $8 and $2 is for us per cassette. And he said, cool and all, and then we kind of struck a deal. Like, we gave him a business proposition.
Netflix.
Yeah. And we used to take one big bag of all the latest movies.
Yeah.
Then go. We used to do one round for exactly some 45 minutes to 1 hour. And we'd go and sit and the whole day we'll watch all the films. So finally he figured out that after a month, man, whatever his sales are, just going up buy some 5 cassettes or something. And he kind of figured out that, dude, you bugger are sitting the whole day and sitting watching these cassettes. I don't know how to use this.
Yeah.
If at all some brand comes where I can plug in all these kind of things in weird ways. But the only max you can do is like in the film that we just did, what about PhonePe? Though that is not shown in the ad, I like that house because it had mosaic flooring. I'm obsessed with mosaic flooring.
Mosaic flooring.
Yeah.
Like, I see mosaic flooring and I say,
I go,
how do I do some? What do I do? How do I frame it where that can creep into the? Same with window grills. When you're growing up in the 90s and all, you had those white colored window grills, and then the window sometimes had frosted glass, and then the window would open at a certain angle and the curtain would be there.
Yeah.
So those memories are stuck, and I try and plug it in. And when I describe this to an art director, it's frustrating because they're not even getting what I'm saying.
Seriously.
It's got to be that same texture and
Like I saw this movie called Sony, SONI in Netflix. And it had tube light lighting. And that is something which everybody grows up with tube lights.
I love tube lights.
And no, in cinema you never see that lighting, but when I saw that in that film, it really looked distinct and
the
something
problem,
very sexy about
and I have fights with a lot of my collaborators, or what I would say, HODs and stuff, because the problem is that tube light is a certain feeling. It is not just a color temperature.
Yeah.
It is a...
It's flat, or I don't know, something.
It is a symbol of how we have grown up.
Correct, some middle classness.
Middle class thing about it. And So when DOP start putting tube light, they try to make it, give it a little Thai kind of styling where it's more green than it should be, or they'll just use it for a highlight, but
or to make it very kitsch.
And they light it very dark and just make it blow out. So they stylize it. They try to make it cool, and I'm saying that is not the point. It should not be cool. It should be flat. It should be like bright.
Yeah,
it should flicker 20 times
because you're not getting the emotion. The idea of putting a tube light is not to get a warm and cool mix. The idea is to feel there's a certain emotion you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And tube light represents that. There's another thing which I have a problem with, Scandinavification of our advertising.
Yes.
That we can talk about it later. But the point is that these are things which I like to embrace because these are so unique to our countries. Like I've had foreign DOPs come in, and when they travel with me and they go on an auto and they say, man, the amount of fluorescent light you have in your country, it's like amazing. And then why are you not putting it out there? And So yeah, I mean the tube lights, doors, are flooring.
Like most of us eat in steel plates, man, but it'll never be in an ad. Like steel plates, steel tumblers. I don't know. There is
unless you're showing lower middle class.
Yeah,
SECB.
exactly. It is considered like that.
SECB, SECC will have it. A will never have it.
There was some film, where they were showing like steel plates, very like lower middle class, like garib. And that's the exact same plate that's there in my house. And I was
no, it is not garib at all.
Everybody's
house is filled with it. But for some strange reason, they're like, oh, ceramics. I know there's one coolification has happened now. It's become a default.
Yeah.
I still think, okay, the house can be all premium and all that stuff. But if they're eating in steel plate, I think it will just stand out. It will look something with them that layer. That prop will just add a lot of value. I think.
But like this tube light just gave me a deja vu to like 90s. But I genuinely think like 90s was just more colorful and more lively.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have that anymore.
But that I think is just
nostalgia.
Age thing.
Age thing
Every generation.
No, but it is true also.
But the problem is also when you selectively pick out props, that's also dangerous because then that's tokenism. If it's not integrated. So like, for example, what happens is that you have a steel plate, but if you have an actor who's coming and who's got perfect nails and is eating rice
correct.
Then it's a full disaster.
Yeah.
So then I just tell them, please take a spoon and take an SECA plate. it's got crockery.
SECA plate, correct.
And then the SECA also has different styles. One is your Fab India style, which is like, and then there will be one Parsi style, which has got that floral design. One plate will come. So we have got in advertising templates now. So the whole
correct. I want to premiumize my product. So even if it's a dosa brand, they will not eat in.
So accordingly, one floral plate will come with that crockery type, that old Parsi Victorian type plate will come. Then one net will come on dining table and that off-white sheer curtain. So its whole pattern comes. It comes with the whole ecosystem comes.
Yes.
Template comes like template 2, SECA slightly premium, not single income, not down. But you want to show that wife is also progressive, then you give her a laptop.
Say that has been relatable.
Then you give the wife a laptop. Then she'll sit behind. So,
has to be an Apple.
Yeah. Should it be an Apple? Should it be a PC? Should it be a 14-inch? So the choices we have to make.
Oh, lovely. But I had a lot of childhood questions, and I think we have covered the inspiration.
Like most fathers wear banyan, but you will never see that in an ad anyway.
We won't.
They're sitting wearing a banyan and
That's true.
one lungi or something.
Yeah.
पता नहीं कुछ तो डॉन मार्केट हो जाता है. डॉन मार्केट नहीं है यार. Anyway.
Realism has
it's okay in a movie. Nobody says this. And something happens.
No, but then I slip it in sometimes. Like I do it for my own joy. Like I'll get like Keralites have this obsession with talcum powder.
Correct. Exactly.
So, cuticura powder. So that comes. It doesn't come in small measures. It comes like a full lather. Like
correct.
So it's like so I try and slip it in for my own joy because I know nobody
cares.
And if I don't pay attention, the online guy will clean it up also. So before that, I tell them, boss, this is intentional.
This is not. Please keep it like that. Dirty.
But like, why do you think you guys have so many observations? Like this talcum powder thing, like I think I would have seen it in life, but I don't think I would have noted it down to be like, okay, I should be able to use it somewhere. Like, I don't know if I have seen life in that lens. Maybe because we were internet kids also.
Maybe, yeah.
But I think that's a problem with. I think again it sounds very condescending and pedantic, but I'm just saying that fundamentally as filmmakers, I think you have to be observers. That is your. I mean, as film people, like you have to A, observe things around you, and B, have a point of view on it. These are two critical things, and of course you have to be creative or whatever. But if you are not observant, then you fail the first test any which ways, because what are you feeding off,
Yeah.
So that becomes a
Also, yeah, I think, I don't know, you get some strange fascination with these absolutely inconsequential things.
Yeah, but do you have a turn off when it comes to a writer?
Oh,
So, Vinil.
that's a big jump.
I like, okay, we've discussed childhood. Now let's just talk about what you
only
hate.
turn-offs.
What do you hate about writers, man?
So I think not just writers, mostly in life, I'm very wary of confident people. You know, I'm like I admire people who are very confident.
Yeah.
But what happens is that sometimes when people are so sure of themselves, either they are really like God. See, sometimes it's comforting. Like you don't want a DOP on set who's still thinking and what to do and stuff. You want to see the confidence. Say, okay, I'll do it and I'll manage. So that's infectious and that's good. But there's another kind of, that I know it all or this is the best thing I've ever written. So enthusiasm is good, but that overconfidence is a little scary. So with writers, the first thing when they come, when they're very sure that this is the best thing they've written and this cannot be changed or touched, then I'm like, okay, now, and I read it and it's not reflecting, like I'm not finding the same confidence. Sometimes it's there, but sometimes it's not there. And then you're like, now how do I navigate this? Because there is a potential somewhere hidden in it, but now I have to navigate this guy and
you have to choose the right words.
And I have to stop this guy from hurting his own film. So those become very tricky thing.
Yeah.
Of course, once they become friends, then I can be very open and like a Ramsam, I can say I'm not working or I can be myself. I don't have to put on a patiently listening and
I think that
absorbing.
diplomatic exchange of words is the killing thing.
Yeah,
Like I don't have to keep saying amazing, superb and all that.
I think this sucks. I think this part really sucks. This something is there nice over here. I think if you're being able to be that candid, then you're already in a good equation.
Yeah. Like I've had really brilliant writers coming and say, hey, something is there, just see how you react to it or whatever. And it's brilliant shit. So then you actually genuinely say, fuck this. So he knows it, but he wants you to kind of, tell him that it's there. But somebody comes and says, this is brilliant. And then you have to keep up to his level of enthusiasm and plus two, you have to add.
You have to fake it.
This is I'm going to do this film. And I think writer wants to hear it from a director that, look, there's no body, there's nothing, but this script is so amazing that I'm going to only do and you're not finding that enthusiasm for whatever reason. So there it becomes a little tricky. And with generally people, I feel lack of confidence, I like it very endearing. Like I feel I can relate to that person because I myself am not sure, We are also always, because there's no template, there's no formula of
like recently in one PPM, the client, Vinil said something and he said, and they were not very sure, but then they said, no, Vinil, if you're confident, then you go with it. And then Vinil is like, confident is not my virtue. It's like
I tell clients, don't look for confidence on my face. The quality of film will not reflect from my expression because I am a real troubled soul. I'm always like, because I keep thinking I missed out on something which could have made the film better. So constantly it's that, like have I called everybody to the party? The two guys I missed out who are very important and they'll call me later. Is that feeling when I do a film that should I go on to the next take? Should I do, or is this approach to the film? So and I think it's a great trait to have to not be sure and be open about it.
I think what you're saying, I think the better, cooler word for the not sure is vulnerable. I think that's what.
I mean, it is a subset of vulnerability, but yeah, I would.
That's a nicer word.
No, but vulnerable makes me very. I mean, it's not a cute trait. I mean, I'm just
saying it's not a cute trait, but it makes you more human, more relatable, more. You are in doubt and
so. I think that for me is when there is so much confidence and that kind of is a bit of a tick off. Like second is when writers come and they take a 1 hour meeting and 55 minutes goes in telling the brand positioning strategy, what the market share was, what they're trying to do, which cities they're launching and everything. And then I'm waiting for the script to happen. When is he going to tell me the script? So patiently hearing for him for 55 minutes. So already he sets it up like it's going to be the most brilliant idea. Then he'll say, Naren here will narrate the script to you. He'll be the most intern. Suddenly the spotlight comes on him. Then that guy is reading out the script.
The film opens in this one's quiet house, and then you see a shaft of light from the window.
No, but it's there a lot. So when you don't talk about, like, I'm excited by the idea which you want to come. I do encourage people to give me all the information. I want to soak it in. But there's a balance between getting a context and then jumping onto the idea. So that is again something which is a little this thing. Then Third dangerous ones are people like Ramsam. Like not people like Ramsam.
Ramsam.
No. But there's an entire bunch of guys from Balki's Boys in Low, I would be very wary. This would include Ashwin, this would include Arun Iyer, it would include Nikhil, all these guys. They have a way of narrating, and I am trying to avoid narration from these guys because even if there's nothing, they're reading the news now, they'll make it sound so good. You think this is an amazing script. And that happens, it's a full narration happens, you seeing the film, and you think, this is superb, I have to do this film. Then he goes and then they send a script printout and you're looking at 35-second version.
What is this shit?
How do I... and they have also narrated in that fashion the client, and the client is also blown by it, So all these great narrators are very dangerous because, so I keep insisting, please send me the script, I want to read it first, then we will talk. But no, they want to narrate.
Recently, I was narrating the same to PhonePe only, and because we had, I think one script was not working and I had to improv over there only, and so in some 5-10 minutes, I thought of another one, and I'm narrating it, and the client is there also hearing it for the first time along with Prakash Verma. And then I am doing some antics like that and all. And the client said, yeah, it's very funny, this is nice. Then Verma just said, okay, but I'm just warning you right now, it is not going to be like the way he did it right now. Not at all.
Absolutely, yeah. Because film, you're stuck. Yeah. And it's like such a lovely script. Oh, what is this happening on the director has to then face the music. So I'm a little careful with those good narrators.
Do you have a turn off for directors when you're like, I don't want to do this?
Not a turn off, but when they pitch that treatment or whatever they are talking to you about your idea or your script, I don't like it when they start moving straight away referencing movies. It's something which is like a complete turn off for me, though it might be the right one, but I don't think it should come in the first stage. I want to know his intuitive reaction to the idea or the central idea or whatever it is, and how much he vibes with it, how much he relates to it, and if he says, this happened to me like this, and he gives a personal anecdote on how, whether it's going to make it in the film, nothing matters. But I know that this guy has understood what the essence of this idea is, and that's the first reassurance that I'm looking for. And then you can get into, okay, for these reasons, I want to pitch it this way, that way, whatever, mood, lighting, all is like secondary. But yeah.
But do you have for writers also? I hate writers like this. Because I'm sure you work with so many.
And especially ads. Sometimes they just write like so much, man. It's like I don't even know how to sift through this and crunch it. And it's only nice if it's such a long conversation. So, and it cannot be shortened. So to think with crisp dialogues or whatever, or not even with one, try and minimize words and just get to the essence of it, and also complete sentences is a complete throw off. Nobody speaks, even in this interview, which is like randomly starting midway, ending midway, but people write. So what did you think, Rupa, about the new school? And she said, oh, I had an absolutely thoroughly enjoyable time. Who the hell speaks like this, man? Nobody. Kaisa? Now, kaisa tha school bhi? Theek tha. Now, what are they speaking about? Let me know. Are school to ekdam both are here. Like that, trying to recreate a real conversation at home is an art by itself.
Yeah.
I think people labor it and take it out of the real space, and it starts becoming something else. And also every line being a punchline. Yeah. So this guy also speaks super interesting. That guy also speaks super interesting. It's like everybody is like some absolute dialogue writer.
But don't
every
you
character.
think, like that's actually the type of writing people are asking us for. Like I'm not going to name, but recently there was a client that we were working with who was like, okay, nice joke, but give me one more punch. Okay, very nice. Give me one more comeback. And you are sitting there with 3 punches and you are like looking at it.
That is the disease that has spread even to the client. It's like even the client who's evaluating has to be actually the most creative among the lot in my head.
Yeah.
For him to recognize what a good idea is. So half the good ideas are because the clients are damn good, man.
Yeah.
But I've also found the reverse also a problem. Sometimes, they are giving these lines, but it's not explaining the film also. So you're like, I need to understand why is this character doing something, or you need to explain. So, I mean, it works both ways, and sometimes that is a fun of interacting with writers. Like, I'm not looking at a perfectly written script. I'm looking at a good idea which can be made into a great film.
Yeah.
So, as long as it's there, then all other things can be worked upon. That's all solvable.
But when do you like getting into the writing process like that?
See,
do you like scripting?
He will get into the writing process, whether you like it or not.
See, I honestly,
Which is actually good. I'm telling you.
no, I don't. I keep dreaming of scripts where I can take the script and make it like that,
Yeah.
because the writing is also the most torturous part, and I understand and empathize with the writer who spent like weeks or probably months going back and forth to the client, and after that he's just given up and he's come in a
भाई बना
certain,
दो जैसा लिखा है वैसा बनाओ ना please.
it is
Research करके आया है ये एकदम every word is gold.
So then it's I know he's tired. So I think as a director, I come with a very fresh objective, and I'm not under the pressure to please the client immediately.
Absolutely.
So it's a good foil for the writer also to use me as a guy who also to blame it on me, like tell the client, but director is saying this or whatever.
And often this happens. You can tell the line to the client, ठीक है, but the director says it suddenly the same line. It sounds 20 times funnier. Because it is
Director like.
We are not Ghar Ki Murgi, we are like,
correct.
Same thing for like a solution you will give. They'll be like, hey, get lost. Director coming with the
Arey,
same
director ne
solution.
bola to
Oh,
mast
yeah,
hoga
of
hi.
course, man. Of course you have to do that.
But also there are like Manu Chetty who have done a lot of Cadbury work, and we've had a great team.
Yeah.
And Manoj's brief is like haiku, because and that also used to be fantastic. Because there's nothing, he'll just come and say like Silk. Honestly, when they first came for Silk, the only line he gave me is, "Hey Vinil, public na chocolate aam ke maafi kha raha hai. People are eating chocolate like mangoes, like this." Now that is enough.
Actually
now you got the
enough, yes.
soul.
That's a visual.
You're not coming and telling me, oh, we will put it in this house and we will have this character and mummy's character and Dada's character and this and that. But I said, okay, this is an interesting insight. Now let's build on it. And then we had a great thing going, and then we had such fun with the first three films we did.
And that product window also to do it like that. It was such a cool.
Vinil Ramsam, something I've observed in your writing is that you are very seamlessly able to bring a woman's perspective. Like when you have our Nykaa mother-daughter film, for example. I don't think you would have experienced that, but you were somehow still able to bring a very real feeling into a script. So in our Nykaa film, I think Ramsam will explain it better.
No, I pitched for it and I didn't get the job, so I don't know.
Oh my bad. I forgot.
What bad? This is like part of our lives. I remember I was in US and you called me to brief on the script.
Correct.
And I spent the rest of the trip thinking about it later to only find out that it is not happening with us.
Yeah, but like I just want to know how you're so realistically able to bring a perspective that you've never lived.
No, see, because of desperation also. So like Nykaa, for example, like, I mean, look at me, man. Me and a beauty product, Nykaa, like, forget Nykaa or anything. I don't relate to that category. So it was, at the same time, they were like, okay, we've been there in the market for some time. It was a thematic ad they wanted to do.
Yeah.
I don't know about the makeup world, but at least let me, in my own family and stuff like that, what could have happened? So I remember once, like, my mother, I come from a very, very kind of a traditional home. So, my daughter, she never wears traditional clothes. She hates it, like all regular kids now. And jeans and t-shirt and stuff like that. But there was one family function at home and she wanted her to come in, pavadai, chokka, whatever, that kind of stuff. And she would never come in that. So, this happened some 2-3 times. And once, my daughter, to all our surprise, she wore one really traditional attire and she came. And my mother was so delighted looking at it. And that's probably also some beauty, in that own way. And if you actually add it back, it is beauty in the eyes of the beholder, such a cliche statement. But then, it's not like my mother doesn't find my daughter beautiful. Of course she finds her beautiful, but she finds us the most beautiful when some certain thing happened. I think that kind of triggered off that idea. Obviously, we couldn't use this situation, probably for the kind of audience we were speaking to. So then, but the essence of it is you always find somebody most beautiful when this happens. Like I have a friend, he is, I think, the world's best abuser. When he abuses, he is just too damn cool. Hari. So, now if he starts doing something else, he's okay, man. But no, when he is doing that, you find him the most charming, the most sexiest when he is doing that. So beauty is, in my mind, I find him the most beautiful. There's one girl who cracks the worst PJs. When she's doing something else, I'm fine. But when she cracks it, I find her damn attractive. So that part, so that is what we kind of extended. And I think Asin came up with that summing thought, kya khoob lagti ho? Haan, kya khoob lagti ho? Jab. Then you fill it with whatever that thing was, and then that mother-daughter thing happened. It was a slightly different story.
जब मुझे मेरी ही बचपन की याद
दिलाते हो तो क्या खूब लगती हो. Yeah. So when I see myself in you, because you did something which I also did, man. She's
Yeah.
क्या चाहिए?
1 second, mom.
पता भी है मैंने पहली बार लिपस्टिक कब लगाई थी?
Mom. पार्टी है मॉम, रेट्रो थीम.
मेरी फोटो कहाँ से मिली?
बाय.
वापस कब आओगी?
उसी टाइम जिस टाइम पे आप आई थी इस दिन. ठीक है?
जब तुम मुझे मेरी ही याद दिलाती हो, क्या खूब लगती हो.
नायका.
I know we were briefly discussing Kiss Me, but I mean, Cadbury. I'm just calling it Kiss Me because for me, I think it's one of those songs that if you accidentally also hear, you have to sing the whole thing. And you just keep humming it all day. I think what I would like to know is like the story behind how that track came to exist and how it's still being used till today. Like it's just that brilliant. Like where did it come from? How do you get down to it and all that?
So like I mentioned earlier, like Manoj Shetty came to me and said, "Aam jaise kharel hai." So that was the brief, and then and I think they're one of my favorite commercials also because there's one Bharatnatyam where before the so catching films at a point where the pressure point was very interesting. Like their turn has come, but they're still eating. So already there is drama in that, and then you're just showing them eating, doing nothing else.
Correct.
Somebody waiting, you know.
Kiss me. Close your eyes. Miss me. Close your eyes and kiss me. I can read your lips on your fingertips and happiness in your eyes. Kiss me. Close your eyes, miss me.
Have you felt silk lately? Rich, creamy, smooth, Cadbury Dairy Milk silk.
So that pressure point was very interesting. Secondly, second film was, which is again from a lot of childhood memories. We did it on the steps. So there is this girl sitting on the steps, and there's a little layering there where I don't know a lot of people get it, but the girl is supposed to be South Indian, and the guy is called Puneet. And the father is coming up the stairs. So when the father is coming, he's seeing this boy with his daughter, and they're eating chocolates. The guy doesn't look like he has good intentions.
I think it's the spikes because the spikes.
Yeah,
are like,
so we cast a character. We cast a guy who will not look like he's going to be a responsible boyfriend, you know. And the worst thing is the South Indian father with his daughter who's so innocent, who's eating chocolate only. This guy is eating it like he looks something else. And father is shitting bricks, and he doesn't know how to navigate, and now he has to cross these people.
Yeah.
You know, so, and this guy is like sitting and chewing happily looking at the father. So those dynamics were really great.
Yeah, that casting was super interesting.
So but the dynamic was that, like, you know, a South Indian girl romancing or having possibly attraction or whatever, there is thing. And we're only talking about chocolate, they're only eating.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think in the end he does one very dumbish smile kind of.
the chocolate is there and another just
He can't intervene also, he can't do anything. And unlike normal fathers, like cliche fathers will say, it's andar chalo, he's the one who's the victim here.
He has to be cool about it also.
So the father is victimized by that, and this guy is just eating chocolate.
Yeah.
So, of course, I don't think client realized what we were doing, but for me, that was the inside. We were tripping on all that. So,
Kiss me. Close your eyes, miss me. Close your eyes and kiss me. I can read your lips on your fingertips and happiness in your eyes. Kiss me. Close your eyes, miss me.
Have you felt silk lately? Rich, creamy, smooth, Cadbury Dairy Milk silk.
I didn't think that situation was like even a little bit sexualized. Like it was just so innocent. If it was not for the track, I wouldn't have even gotten the dad's.
no, so those are like, we just put it. So it's people who can discover. So I like layering it. So whoever wants can take what it. So on the face of it, there's nothing happening, but everything is also going on, and that for a slightly more intelligent audience or somebody who's invested, he can see these things are being planted there.
Did you know that you're going to have like a track like that, like Kiss Me? Or
No, so I wanted something very innocent, something which would also feel like silk. So I wanted a very young voice, that voice which is about to break into a thing and a girl. So that was there, but we didn't know what song or what to do, and so we were really struggling with the track, and we were struggling with words, like what lyrics to put, tune, nothing is happening. Then those days Manoj Shetty used to have his evening drink with your best friend Mr. Sriram, and they used to be an item.
Then they are like, oh.
Yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to say this on camera, but
Everything
You
is
should
allowed.
ask them.
Everything is allowed.
but so they went for their session, and then Amar Manglurkar, who I've collaborated on a lot of hit tracks, we were sitting and scratching and again fighting amongst ourselves. This tune is not working, that is not, and he's saying I need words and we don't have words. And then Shetty comes back at 11:30, 12 in the night, like slightly high, and he just stumbles into the room and he's like, kiss me, close your eyes and kiss me. This is it.
Cut to generations later, the whole world is saying it still.
This is there. So suddenly we wrote it down. Or kya. So we knew we needed 2 more lines to kind of, then he said, look, I said, this is superb. And so let's take the POV of the chocolate and whatever, So we were trying to, and then thoda bahut udhar we, this thing, and we got those 4 lines.
Yeah.
And Amar immediately, and we said, keep it a very simple track. It has to be sticky like a nursery rhyme, because we are going for innocence. So because we are doing innocence here, we have a lot of leverage there to kind of balance it out. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been another territory. So it's always, the whole idea is always to be on the threshold, teasing but not getting into.
Yeah.
So then we said we need a young voice, and now at 12 in the night, 12:30 in the night, who are you going to get? Then somebody said, oh, there in the Mahim church, in the choir, there's one girl, she has a very good voice, you should. So we called up, this girl was awake because she's studying for her 10th boards. So then lot of, ma'am, please come, this, that, begging, pleading happened.
What was her name?
I forgot her name. So she came, poor thing came, and we offered money, whatever, and then she please come, somehow come and sing this. And we thought we'll use her as a template. Client will then want a professional voice or whatever. Then she came and she sang it in 2 takes, and that was the song. And we had a very simple backup with the guitar and all, and that got composed. And then we said, okay, good, now we'll do a professional, proper version. This is scratch. Whoever we would call would never match the innocence and this thing of. And a professional singer coming, even at that age, was not matching that. So we just went with this. Then 2-3 years later, as usual, everybody had Kida ki chalo, let's change the track. Now it's done to death.
There's some different renditions of it.
That of course later had happened, but even with me, when I was making the film, they said let's change. So we got again professional singers not getting the same emotion. Then finally they said, hey, let's get her only. But by that time she had gone to the US to study. But fortunately at that time she was in India on holiday or something. But we called her to sing. She was 20 and 19 or 20. But she had become a full adult voice, and that voice could not come. So we only got it in that window, that voice. So for long I've been told that you can't change that track. You can't touch anything in that track, because every time you do it, you...
There are some tracks like that, even as listeners, just hey, why did I change it, man?
Even if even a slight change, wait.
Hello, who wants you to remake? Correct. Yeah.
So I personally don't touch it, because I say don't touch it because it's not meant to be cool, it's not meant to be contemporary.
Now it belongs to everyone.
So it's...
but that poor girl, does she get paid till date?
No, she did, of course. We were...
Till date though?
No, till date.
Till date they're using.
No, they were, that I don't know the specifics of rights and all, but I know the composer gets paid every time it plays or...
That's very cool. Have you ever had to fight for a certain type of cast? Because sometimes people come with very specific mindsets that, quintessential North Indian looking somebody, and I feel like both of you have really experimented.
So yeah, we've had some fights and we lost a lot of them, but we won some of them. I think the biggest risk I took in casting, where I personally was very scared, was when we did the Cadbury to mother-in-law, daughter-in-law dancing in to that Samundar.
मामी जी
बढ़ती दोस्ती के नाम कुछ मीठा हो जाए.
Because here was a brand where I remember them talking about perfect teeth. Like they said the model has to have perfect teeth and this has to be... Yeah, but Cadbury's pretty girl. So their reference was the girl running on the ground. Twice we did it. The first time we were less confident was the bus stop film, where that guy is being casted like not like a typical guy, but there somehow with the client was really progressive or whatever. He was really nice. I mean, one of the best clients we had at that time, and Shetty and me and we all sat and we said, let's make it about a guy who otherwise has no chance ever. This girl is beyond his league. And I think that really did well for the ad because a lot of people could identify with it, you know.
Maximum people.
He's hitting way above his league. And he's doing it with...
But it's so sweet, it's so charismatic. It's,
and the whole idea I was shooting like, this guy should not come across as creepy because we've taken that call as a... See, you take a nice sweet face, nobody feels bad. Correct. Like a sweet face hits and people tend to be forgiving. But when you don't have the sweet looks, then you're playing in dangerous territory, you know. So what is a borderline creepy?
Excuse me? क्या आप अपनी डेयरी मिल्क का एक छोटा सा बाइट देंगी?
क्या मैं आपको जानती हूँ? तो?
मेरी माँ कहती है कोई भी शुभ काम करने से पहले कुछ मीठा खा लेना चाहिए, काम अच्छा होता है।
वैसे क्या शुभ काम करने जा रहे हो?
मैं सोच रहा था कि आपको घर छोड़ दूँ।
शुभारंभ कुछ मीठा हो जाए.
So I was very scared during the bus stop film because I felt if it doesn't fire then, and I was just starting out with Cadbury and just getting like I was
first film with Cadbury.
Cadbury's first film, and also with Ogilvy also at Bombay, and that time Ogilvy, that team was a great team to work with, and I had done some Vodafone films, so I was generally like, I mean, those days you kind of worked your way up till certain. You wanted to work with certain teams which were creative, like the superstars. So we were just getting an entry there, and I was like, if I screw this up, then I'm going to like go down. So that risk was a little scary.
Yeah.
And then when I did the Lucknow film where the two ladies come in, I was shitting bricks because the client just bought into me, like my confidence or lack of it. Or whatever. But I don't think they were convinced at all. And even when the film was done, they themselves, and I was just feeling bad for them that if for whatever instance the marketing or the team gets a flack, then unnecessarily it's so. But it was a crazy decision, and that and they were just so raw. They didn't even know. They'd say, "How does the camera look? Where is the camera?" Because I was just telling them, "Dance karo," and they will, even if when I say cut, they'll keep dancing because they don't know what cut meant. So I had to come and tell them, "Abhi dance roko." Abhi jab main action bolunga. They were very naive and they were very raw and nothing which is like a.
How did you get them?
It did very well. No, we looked everywhere. Again, 7 cities. My casting goes on forever. This, that, but. Everybody was either trying to play rural or they were trying to play daughter-in-law. These two just felt natural, and there was some awkwardness which was amazing. Like the mother-in-law is very awkward, and it's also coming from lack of confidence in facing the camera. And the other one also was. So I said they're not friends yet. So when you get actors, then they'll warm up and you'll know that they're just playing each other superficially.
And also the setting was very interesting in the kind of house. And
it was so un-Cadbury-like, and that's what made it so interesting to me.
So the idea was that how do I get that feeling of like this is the cusp of when they actually become friends. They warm up to each other. So that awkwardness is what I wanted to capture. So I said if I cast these two people who are not so sure and they're anyway lost, it's like a good beginning and shubharam of getting it. So that's why all the actors are coming and they were like playing and they were confident and they were doing their stuff and they were doing cool steps and all. I said, I don't want cool steps. It's just the shyness is what we're looking for,
Yeah.
So at that time, it was a big risk getting those kind of actors. Of course, casting for me, like from beginning has been a process, but those two times I was really scared.
What is your process like? You keep telling me like it's a long thing.
Yeah, normally I do like, as a practice, we cast in about 5 cities.
Yeah.
With 3 casting directors, and it goes on for at least minimum of 2 weeks on a regular job.
Wow. And you see all these auditions? I
see every audition. That is why today's talk, one actor came to me and I remembered her name. Like I have an elephant's memory with, like certain actors, they won't remember me, but I would have remembered some, like assistants would forget, but I remember faces. Wow. So also when I was starting out, the problem was that how do you break into the league? Because it was tough to get into that, there's such big directors and all whatever. But I felt like for me that spending time on the script and spending all our money on casting helped us differentiate our work at that time, So, and especially when you like something like Ramsam writes or a lot of real life stories come, then do you go for the kill. You want to cast somebody who fits in. Like I said, can't have a steel thali and somebody with perfect manicured nails eating it. It doesn't work. So then you go for that chip nails.
But have you ever had to fight, even with a director, for a cast? Or even when you yourself do it, like, have you ever had a...
No, again, to find and land upon the cast, like what you... In fact, for the Oyo, that he was the first audition that I saw.
What do you say?
Yeah, usually you cast so many people. There were many people who auditioned, but I just happened to see this boy first. Now this boy just stuck in my head, man. And of course, biggest script that I have is, this was a Tamil film. So in Bombay, they end up, with limited casting, or they go with only people who have South Indian names. There is something like that, and I still think that cross-pollination has not happened between the various cities. So you have to probably brief different casting agencies to get it. But there are some people who are really invested, some casting guys. So in this particular one, this boy was from Coimbatore, but he's a North Indian. But he spoke that language, and the way he nailed that character, because it was the whole story. I think Oyo had given us some case studies of different kind of Oyo was popular for one kind of people. Why Oyo had that bad perception. So they said we want to break it because people use it for various different random reasons, man. And they told us all the random reasons. One of them was actually sometimes they use it to even study and all that. So that thing kind of just stuck in my head. So then what can you typically do? You start writing saying, oh, there's some guy who says to his father, oh, I'm going there to study, but then he calls all his friends and they party over there.
Yeah.
But then we said, no, why can't we be true to what that thing is? There could be a studious guy, no? Why can't we cast a really studious guy who wants to go there and really study? And there was this guy who was just so bang on, so spot on. After that, I just didn't feel like seeing anything. And fortunate to have Mayur as a client, who otherwise typically they would have wanted.
Ola?
Mayur Ola. So he saw and he said, I think this boy kills it. I said, yeah, I think he kills it. He's just terrific. And even I told the costume there also to make sure that he's not got any fashion sense. So there was something very endearing about that boy, and he just kind of nailed that. Some people, you just know it, and you just know that they are right, and after that you just get locked with them.
How to study in that house, ma? Chittupakku nee ennoda room kuduthiten. Vanaja singing practice வீட்ல தான் பண்ணுவேனா அடம் பிடிக்கிறா. ஸ்வரம் கூட பிடிக்க தெரியல. அவளை வேற ஏதாவது கத்துக்க சொல்லு. இது அதுனா ஃபோன் அடிக்குது. டிவில அப்பா நியூஸ் ரிப்போர்ட்டோட சண்டை போடுறாரு. பக்கத்து வீட்டு ட்ரில்லிங் வேற டம்மால் டுமின்னு ஓடுது. இது எல்லாத்துக்கும் மேல கூட்டு ப்ரெஷர் குக்கர்ல தான் சமைக்கணுமா? ஆமா, வீட்டுக்கு பின்னால ரோயோ ரூம்ல இருக்கேன். ரூம் 215. இதுக்கப்புறம் ஃபோன் கூட ஸ்விட்ச் ஆஃப். ஏதாவது வேணும்னா இங்கே வந்துரு. பிரதர்,
as a writer, I feel like today also, like, you need to have a perspective on casting. Like when you have shared auditions and all, I do not know what to look for. Of course, beyond a certain face and naturalish delivery, what do you look for? What makes you gives you that feeling that this is it, this is
as
my
a writer?
Guy? When you look at an audition, what gives you that feeling that okay, this is it? I want to know because I am learning how to pick.
So sometimes, what helps is that even I'm also confused, like which person to go. So you need a very bad second choice who everybody else loves. So the ones that and especially when the client says, this is the person, okay, this is the problem guy. Now we'll fight for our guy. It made the choice.
Oh, interesting. Do you have like a checklist? Like, okay, I want this. I'm looking for like you said, you look for
for me, it's very
face.
instinct here. It's like I am driven by instinct, and like I said, I am very clear about what I don't want. What I want, I don't know, because sometimes the things which are much better than what I wanted. So how do you say no to that? So accidents happen. You keep open your eyes for that. That's the important thing.
Interesting.
Just follow-up question. So, like, how much of it is audition versus your instinct versus the face? Like,
I look at auditions. I even look at introductions. Now, unfortunately, actors don't give introductions anymore.
What?
They just come, hi, my name is so and so, and these are my profiles. So I want to know what, because then when they talk about themselves, you get a sense of how is this person, what is you get a how long have they been doing auditions, how much are they fried, so when I'm looking at it, I'm saying, okay, this is she is now fully gone into the template, or he has gone into the template mode. Then I'm thinking how much what do I need to do to get that person out of that template? Then so audition is never, I don't take it seriously in the sense that I don't think that they will do that in the shoot. That I know that's my job to figure out. But I know that if there's a basic intelligence, like if they do something in the audition which is, they've thought through the script or they've added a little bit here and there, that I think is very interesting because I know, okay, this guy's a thinking actor, and thinking actor is very good, but by thinking I'm not saying intellectual thinking, but they have an instinct for that, and especially with humor and all, you want to get somebody who is funny, who has a timing or who has that face. You don't just, any actor will not do that, or a funny looking face will not work. So it's an instinct, you get a vibe. Then what we do is, we shortlist the people we like, we share it with agency and client, and they also give their preference, I also have preference. Then we do callbacks, and I sit with them and do another audition, I talk to them. So I'm also looking at things like, if I give an instruction, what is the change in the next take? So I know that this person is improving so much with that instruction. Or if I give a wrong instruction, how much do they compensate for it? So all those things you get, then you know what you're in for. But despite doing that, we landed up with very bad actors and we struggled. So there's no filter and there's no way of knowing instantly.
There's no checklist.
Nobody, like you go there and you might have a bad day. And I like to treat actors like royalty, like pamper them, give them whatever they want, because they are going to do the heavy lifting for you in that moment, and that doesn't come through, you're going to get screwed. So I try and not let anybody talk to the actors. And once the casting is done till the film is done, till the dubbing is done, I am the only one talking to that actor. I don't want anybody to come and screw up that.
Another interesting film, like I feel where the casting really stood out for me of yours, is the Nescafe films. Like the stammerer, the RJ, the cartoonist. Even though I think my favorite is RJ, but I think we should talk about the stammerer, because how did you choose that guy? Like, did he actually stammer in real life? Like, it's so real.
So the Nescafe film
now he's a big star, na?
Yeah, Hussain. He's also a writer and very successful at that. When the film came, it came with a female celebrity. It was not. It was not a. It was a
same script.
Same script with a female celebrity, and we had dates. And fortunately,
same script.
Stammer and all.
And I think that was the first time I worked with Pratik Bhardwaj. So it's a client I've worked a lot with, and I had a great equation with, and probably one of my favorite clients is called Chandru. So we did a lot of work in Airtel, we did a lot of work in Nestle, Maggi, Nescafe, and we used to fight, but complete freedom and a great client to have, like fully driven by.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about him. Yeah.
So and this was one of the first films I did after coming back from my first movie. As usual, every time you go for 3 years and things change and nobody remembers you and whatever, there is a whole, and you also get into self-doubt process whether are you still as good in advertising as you were and stuff. So I was like, if the celebrity we know doesn't stammer, then I am already feeling it's not true. Like authentic. Then it's just acting, it's not, it doesn't. So where is the emotion? Where do you feel that? So it's just feeling false. We took the celebrity out of the equation. And that was a big thing.
You fought for it.
They had signed that celebrity. So that only happened because the client's trust or whatever. And then we said it doesn't work because of this or whatever. Then we said we have to cast a guy who, and pulling up a stammer and being authentic is very difficult. So I knew that is going to be tough because all actors are going to study how to do stammering and they will give.
So at that point you kept the gender open?
Yeah, we kind of kept it both male, female, open, and we said let's test people and all. But I said parallelly, let's look for a trainer. Let's go for a speech therapist or somebody who knows patterns. Because I don't want to do how people play blind or people play you end up as caricatures, and it's really offensive. Yeah. So I said let's at least try and be as authentic as possible. So then Hussain came. Then we said let's get somebody from theatre who's worked with people. So you don't just need a special therapist, but you need somebody who's also actor friendly, so you can workshop with him or whatever, and we can create, because that's a lot of hard work, how to give pauses, where to get stuck, which word to get stuck, because even with your stammer, you're also delivering a funny line. So it can't be in the wrong place. So the punchline has to come with a stammer at the right place. So it has to be funny for the film, but also authentic for the stammer bit. So there's a lot of complication when I was breaking it down. So Hussain came as a coach. He said whoever comes, we'll help get Hussain to coach him and stuff like that. Then he was talking, I said, why not him only? So we then said, we pushed, I said, tu karega kya? He was like, yeah, and he had a very nice, endearing, and he, again, he's like a bichara, like, small guy, everything was there too, and he's not, like his looks are not striking in terms of good looking or whatever, and again, but at that time we were looking for a replacement for a celebrity, so we were looking for a good looking. So it was a hard sell, of course. Client bought in, I understood the logic of it. I said, look, with this guy, we'll still feel that this guy actually stammers and stuff. Then it was a tough process landing all our jokes, because I said, so again, multiple layers.
Oh yes, I think the writing of that is so supreme.
So that Pratik is
supreme.
Yeah.
Like every line in that, I think.
So visually also it has to land, and funny thing, the pauses have to be right place, and the stammer has to work.
Exactly, because it's a very emotional ad, but it is not presented emotionally. It is presented like, he's cracking jokes,
and
bro.
it's self-deprecating.
Yes,
so it's like
so every line in that is.
Yeah.
So you have to land the lines, you land the joke. You also have to get the stammer right.
Exactly.
Plus, you want an emotion at the end. You don't want a funny film. And those days, stand-up had not taken off the weight.
That suspense pe kyun chhod diya? That part is so mind-blowing. That lift. Oh, deadly.
Yeah. So all that we had to really craft, and we had great fun doing all of that. And then. But the biggest thing is how to bloody slip in coffee in between now. Because the moment you're doing a hard sell, and that was a requirement, it suddenly starts feeling fake. So that also you have to step very carefully.
But then though it was a hard sell in the end of the ad, nobody cared. It was fine.
So you're hoping that the rest of it takes care that this kind of slips in organically without sticking out. And thanks to the client, he didn't force me to do that 4-step process of
thank God.
making it. So it felt very organically and slipped in, and that. Like I said before, I hate long ads. I'm honestly I get very bored watching ads myself, and I barely have the patience to watch my work after it's done. But so I feel like you make the point in 30 seconds or do it in 45, maximum 1. Like the indulgent films which go on and on, where hands are coming out of the car window and playing with sunshine, and hands playing with waves coming in, and the beach and trees and all that. I get irritated. Pretty.
Indie artsy.
Yeah, do it somewhere else, or dialogues are going on and on, it's not coming to the point. So, before the client, I start filtering my edits. Like, I fight with my editors to take out things, and they keep saying, no, keep it, because it's still, important. So, and here we tried our best to make the shortest version, but that was 2 minutes plus. And we told the client, okay, this is it. You wanted a 30-40 seconder, but this is and then they ran the entire 2 minute on
terrific.
So those are the kind of films where you feel like, wow, what a great profession we are in, because it's really satisfying. It's you're not thinking about money or anything, just like the joy of just doing that and putting your craft out there and practicing whatever you learned or observed and putting it there. So that was like really rewarding.
Yeah.
एक अगलाते हुए कॉमेडियन की सबसे बड़ी स्ट्रेंथ होती है सस्पेंस. हर ऑडियंस आपकी तरह पेशेंट नहीं होती. मैं अटकता हूं, वो खिसक लेते हैं. सॉरी सर. घर वाले कहते थे जल्दी एक जोक सुना, अब कहते हैं जोक छोड़ जल्दी सुना. तो मैं भी ढीठ हूं, जोक सुनाए बगैर जाऊंगा नहीं. तो मैंने दोस्तों को समझाया, टाइम लगता है यार बफरिंग में. लैंडलॉर्ड को समझाया, 2 मांगे थे, 8 दे क्या.
2 वेरी फनी.
कि आजकल जोक्स भी किश्तों में आते हैं. पुलिस वाला कहता है कि कानून के हाथ से लंबा तो मेरा जोक है. दुनिया को समझाया,
अरे जोक तो खत्म करो, सस्पेंस में छोड़ दिया.
सब्र का फल मीठा होता है. सुबह सुबह पार्क गया, वहां खुद ही समझ गया. लाफ्टर क्लब, they laugh at anything. थैंक गॉड फॉर कॉफी. इसने मुझे लगाए रखा और आपको जगाए रखा. माय नेम इज ऋषि. Let's get started.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Coming back, Ramsam, to writing. My world has a very limited purview of what writers do. Okay, they're like, "Kya karte ho, yaar? What do you do? What are you doing on set?" So my single most answer is, "Yaar, मैं dialogues लिखती हूँ." So now, what do you do when it's a dialogueless film? Then it becomes a trip to explain that question. So speaking of like phone pay car crash or how do you call it, Nadaswaram. Like those films say so much without saying anything at all. I actually forgot the fact that there is no dialogue in it, because there is so much emoted without saying anything. So I think my question is, how do you write dialogueless films?
I think that was born out of desperation more than necessity.
Yeah.
Because with this IPL and with this whole thing, and the media being so expensive and everything has to be in 20 seconds or 15 seconds and stuff like that. And then after that, it has to make sense. Suppose you write some few lines and they'll say, "Oh no, I connect with it," because personally the client will say, "No, ye funny nahi hai." The minute you put a line, that line kind of influences everybody's thinking process, also saying, "Ha." And then after that, it has to also make sense in Tamil if you do dubs and stuff like that. So just sitting and analyzing this, like, okay, what if we don't have any lines in this? I think because then there's the storytelling. I think sometimes the length of the line or whatever you write itself dictates the duration. Because if you have timing, what will you usually write your line in this time? So can we conceive stories? And obviously I'm a huge fan of Pushpak, the Kamal film. It's just
all-time favorite, yeah.
So it has always been in my mind, man, like, wow, this is a masterpiece. How can somebody convey so much? And it's so funny. It's terrific. It's again like that. After watching 15 minutes, you forget that there's no dialogues in this film at all. So so it was that fanboy inside me of wanting to do Pushpak, which met a requirement right now, which is, so I told the client saying, can we do? Because you just wanted to show phone pay in different ways that you can use it. In fact, the first ad that I wrote on it, we didn't end up making it. I forget why. We made some 11, 12 of it. It was a guy in a train, that vendors who come, some peanuts or something he's selling. So this bugger has bought that peanuts. And the train is leaving, and this bugger doesn't know what to do. That guy wants to pay, he doesn't know how to pay, and then he's just running behind him, and then he just shows his scanning code, and that bugger scans, and it gets paid, and it's just phone pay. So that I thought, okay, since I have conceived one, let me see if I can write more like this. And then when I met Varma, he hates words generally. The first thing he's looking for is to see how to throw off words. And so when I said, there are no words, bro, and he was like, wow, this is already sounding exciting.
Love it.
But the deal was, there are obviously some stories you cannot convey in that. So the deal was to see, can we convey this in without writing a line? Can we make it communicate also? 20?
It's 20, right?
20, some are 15.
This one is big. Car crash is big, but there's other 15,
I love Car
15,
Crash.
20,
I think Car Crash is my favorite. That is so cool.
That was the one which I improvised on the spot, and Burma said, please don't go by this guy's acting. He's doing something or he said, boss, this antics and all, what happened? And I said, yeah, you pitch it the way you want to.
Is there today a type of film you guys will not do? Like you've done it, you've had enough of a type of film, like a cliche or like a trope that you are done playing. Don't come to me.
Many such films.
Don't come to me for XYZ.
I don't like like this red herring kind of films. I don't know. Somebody told me that these films are called red herring, where you have one continuous action and you're wondering why are they doing that action, and then it reveals because of this. That is something, and I don't like these. Be in love with yourself, love your body, I am sick and tired of this. I want everybody to just not be themselves, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's just giving unnecessary confidence to people. Say,
who
just
don't
be
deserve
yourself. You do you. You be you. Oh, fuck, I can't take that shit anymore. And almost the entire fashion beauty space is doing some variation of this nonsense. So that is something which tires the fuck out of me. Yeah.
What about you? Is there something?
We have a very clear filter now. So I don't do films with kids, animals, and VFX. In that order of.
Kids,
but why kids? I mean, surf and all is like what man?
No, so I've done a lot of kids. We used to do a lot of Oreo. We used to do surf.
Because it typecast you there, is it?
No, not that. It just got very tiring. Yeah. Because so after a certain point, I said I don't want to take responsibility for films where the control is not in with me. Like with the kid, you don't know what's going to happen that day.
Yeah.
And performance as a kid is unpredictable, and rightfully so. It's a kid, and you can't force it beyond a point. So you need a lot of patience. And I think after a point, I run out. Like after my own kids, I said this is the amount of patience I have. Other people's kids now, I can't come and do the And in surf also, which we've done Dagache for so many years. I remember shooting in Ooty with that kid. The first thing he says, "This uncle, I want him out of the set." So I have gone out. Then
he kicked you out of the set.
Then the DOP, who was such a nice, gentle person, Mr. Murli used to shoot. Say, "This uncle also I want out."
Oh God!
And for a lot of the children, the kids' films, Swada becomes like my producer. She becomes my co-director. In fact, she is the director.
She's the director.
I'll tell Swada, this is what I want now. You go and be the mummy and do whatever you want. These expressions I want. So finally, she was like, directing for me. But eventually, you don't know. It does I mean, they turn out nice. But at the end of the day, I don't get excited. Oh, I got such a nice thing out of her. It just became very stressful. Second is animals. Again, the same story, because we don't want to get caught into the cruelty of animals and stuff like that. But at the same time, how do you make them perform? I mean, there has to be a way. So you have to be patient and you have to do this, and then you don't get. A dog might not perform, or a cat might not do what you want.
Then it becomes VFX dog, which you also hate.
That also. Third is VFX, which is the worst thing, because the client doesn't give you budget and doesn't give you time. Yeah. So this is the common complaint most Indian VFX houses have, that, hey, look, you don't give us time, you push us. But even when we're done that, they are not delivered. And eventually, on a Sunday night or on a holiday where everybody, New Year's or Diwali, where everybody's celebrating, I'm sitting in a VFX studio correcting shadows, doing these things, and
And one wireframe will come. How to react to that.
And then I'm like, struggling so much for something which it's not even my job. So why should I take responsibility for a screw up which is going to happen on somebody else's part where I have to take the responsibility? So I said, unless until you get it done in some nice place where there's a kick-ass
the mill, London.
And there also they'll treat us like third world, whatever. Because even if you go to the fancy UK studio, because you're not a repeat client or a big client for them, they're going to treat you like.
But they are some really good guys like Vijit and all, like over here.
Yeah, but beyond a point, my experience has been that even with the better guys, you end up sitting with them and doing a lot.
The process is not enjoyable.
It is, and so you still don't get quality. So a lot of VFX heavy films which have, I mean, of course, there is also time and work pressure, but the quality is something which you're expecting world class and you can't get it here. I mean, I've been struggling with it. So it's my personal struggle. Others have done it, but unfortunately, and a lot of VFX guys are my close friends. But we have this fight, boss. Because of you, I'm not going to stick my net out. So I felt things which I can't.
It's like you like watching them, you're not interested.
I said, if I can't guarantee it, that the result will be close to what you're expecting, and it's beyond my hands, then I don't want to get into a stressful filmmaking experience. So unless until it's a relationship with a client, or that month we don't have anything and there's a job we need to pay the bills or any of that sort of, there's a shitload of money or whatever, then you say yes. I mean, even then I would really, and I'm upfront about them. I'm not even saying, oh, I don't have dates. I say I don't want to deal with these three. There are people who love it. There are people who are very good at it, who have the patience for it. I am not that person right now. So these three I don't touch.
What are your pet peeves about ads we do today specifically?
So the trope of cute kids and loving mums is something which I hate about advertising.
Yeah.
So I get very irritated when I'm just seeing kids talking in cute kiddie language and doing cute kiddie things, and it's not heartwarming, it's irritating for me. And mothers coming with a lot of love and preparing nice, food for the children with love and care is also for me, I mean, my mother will hate me, but my mother was not a great cook, So I'm one of the few guys who went to a hostel, and hostel food in FTI was the worst. It's like you really have to have hunger or desperation to eat that food. But I would come back at home and actually miss my hostel food. Because
in fact, we had been writing some scripts tripping on the same insight that it is not maa ke haath ka bana ka whatever. Because there are so many cliches in that.
Now my mother makes really good food. But
now you're saying
because you know your mom is watching.
No. She might not. But I'm saying till I was in my 20s and 30s, I said there are moms who are not good at making food. Why should we? And neither did she come and, or at least I grew up in a family where there was not overt display of love and affection, like where they'll come and hold you and all that. And now I find it very uncomfortable to.
So to take a segment, like in Alai Payude, that there's one scene where she says, "Yeah, man, the dano in the uppa poni kolra," and she's like, "Tinri," means this in my head is actual emotion. Where he is fed up of eating the damn shit, and mother is saying, "You better eat it." But this is a real situation.
ஏமா தினம் இந்த உப்புமா போட்டு என்ன கொல்றீங்க? வாய மூடி, அதிக பிரசங்கி. சாப்பிடும்போது புஸ்தகத்தை மூடி வை. படிக்கிறதும் மனசுல ஏறாது, சாப்பிடுறதும் ஒட்டாது. வேணாம். உட்காருடி. சனியனே. சும்மா திட்டினா அப்புறம் சாயங்காலம் வீட்டுக்கு வர மாட்டேன்.
There is more truth in the opposite of the emotion. Like I had done one Tanishq ad where she goes and gives her mom saying मैं कुछ लाया हूँ and for Mother's Day or something, right? And you danto ki nahi and all, and the mother takes it and she says, "Why will I danto you?" And she says, "Itna pyara cheez laya, whatever, you bought something nice for yourself." She says, "Not for me, for you." Cut to she screams and she's like, "Arey, what the hell, are you again mad? You believe it, spend so much money on me." That is real emotion. And
माँ, कल प्रमोशन मिलने की खुशी में मैंने कुछ ले लिया।
अच्छा किया बेटा।
दिखाऊं?
दिखा।
पर पहले आप प्रॉमिस करो कि आप मुझ पे चिल्लाओगे नहीं।
अरे मैं क्यों चिल्लाऊंगी?
माँ प्लीज प्रॉमिस करो।
प्रॉमिस।
माँ?
अरे वाह, कितनी प्यारी चीज लाई है तू। मैं क्यों चिल्लाती?
माँ, ये एक्चुअली आपके लिए है।
मैं कब डायमंड्स पहनूंगी? पागल हो गई है जो इतना पैसा मुझ पे खर्च किया तूने? तुझे जरा भी समझ नहीं है। अरे कल प्रमोशन मिला नहीं तुझे और आज तूने तो।
क्योंकि वो अपने लिए कभी कुछ नहीं मांगेगी। तनिष्क।
That is the antithesis of love in
the advertising tropes which is so. Surf Excel we use. I used to love it because kids are always brats. Even the good ones are always brats.
Exactly. Yeah. So they're illogical. They're weird. Yeah.
You kind of invert it, and then I say, okay, these kids I know. I've seen them as my friends in school. I've seen those people. Yeah. I can relate to them. Cadbury Dairy Milk. The mother's character. खाने में क्या कद्दू?
Oh yes, so correct. Where everybody just
so that was the inside. I love it because she is not making हाथ का पराठा with ghee in it. She is making
best line in it.
Stale food with
कल कद्दू बनाया था, कल्ली का है.
It is coming from the fridge. It is nothing special. You come back home tired and you don't have shit food. Yeah. I love it because that's how.
No, and is that an emotional film? Of course, it's an emotional film. It's such a beautifully emotional film, but they are not writing it emotionally. They're writing it real.
खाने में क्या है?
लौकी।
लौकी? कल भी लौकी बनी थी यार।
कल का ही है।
मीठे में क्या है? खाने के बाद मीठे में कुछ मीठा हो जाए।
Then now. One Scandinavian of our advertising has happened. Now people are either, you go between, like lighting for instance, everything is blue. The curtains are all drawn. There'll be some blue light and then some warm lamps are there. We are not living in Scandinavia, boss. We are in a tropical country. There is abundance of sunshine. Why is everything so dark and moody and all? I can understand if there's a moment like that, you're talking about a magic hour, but in middle of the afternoon or middle of the day, everything, and the camera is being shaking for some reason, it's behind somebody's arm, somebody's this thing. You are putting so much of masala in something which doesn't need all of that,
There's this thing, they call it, like, they taught us in school, they were like teal and tangerine, like color scheme.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing the same
I'm seeing
thing.
a middle class house where the tube light has gone fully green and one nice floral lamp is like, and suddenly all advertising houses have some 8 lamps in their house, because the lamps everywhere, kitchen is
Advertising
lamp,
houses.
and then they'll have very soft light. I'm like, and then people are also behaving very strangely because people are talking in dark silences and gaps and all that stuff. So there is one school which has got fully Scandinavian, and then there is also one where Thanunchai meets Scandinavia, where everything is like flat. People are not voting; they talk like whatever this thing.
Yeah.
And then there's another school which has gone other extreme, where all the colors on the Pantone shade card, because you can do LED lights, with pink, blue, green.
Correct.
The room is just filled with multiple lights without any.
And if it's a South Indian film, they only have brass vessels in their house, and the woman has just had a bath always, and the man is always very religious, and he's reading a newspaper all the time, and there is coffee, of course. They're only drinking coffee, and and she's wearing a wet towel, and
if it's a South Indian
and
humor,
there's kuttu and there is kolam.
And if it's South Indian humor, it will have Dapan Kuttu.
Tapankut.
And wide angle frames with everybody's Rajnikant. With the towel is also going like that, plate is also going like that.
Sound like that.
Belt. So that's South Indian humor.
Yeah.
I've just vomited a lot of.
No. I feel like you're frustrated, and I think I'm so glad.
I get angry, when I see this kind of, and people are celebrating it, and then they call it craft. I'm like, God, So when you start your career, you're enthusiastic, so you want to take all the cool shots. So I was doing a lot of visual films and, shooting high speed, slow ramping and putting cool tracks and, doing this. Then there came a phase where you said, okay, the real test for me as a filmmaker is that if I can just put a person with normal lighting, no backlight, no special listing, normal 40mm, 50, and Ozu is a big, I love Ozu since I was a film. But I'm just saying that keep a person, just keep a camera, and let that person perform and tell a story simply. Like, can you make it as minimalistic as possible and still land the film? So there was a full phase. If you see all the films I have done, the camera doesn't move it doesn't shake, it's just there. And it's normal. And lighting is also normal. I said, don't do anything. I want to land the film still. I will not use any of these tricks, whatever people call craft. I'm not going to use. The craft is this simple guy telling simple things camera there and no penny drop movement. My music will come before penny drop. Penny drop will be somewhere lost in the music.
But I feel like that has happened in long form also. There are these really good DOPs, really well shot films with no substance anymore. But I think that's just
the single take ones, which is another new
a single take,
where it's going there in the street. There's one. Okay, I mean it's nice once or twice, but
But can you tell a story? Can you just be simple and say something?
Yeah.
Don't take something simple and add so much tadka gravy on it that you kill it. I mean, whatever was there also is gone, So when I see that, it kind of, irritates. And then when clients want that,
and they give that to you as an example.
And they want those simple tricks to make your work look contemporary or whatever. I'm like, when you sacrifice something for, if you're not working on the idea, but you're throwing everything at that idea and making your film look like every other film out there, It looks the same. Half the time I can't tell the work one from another because they all look the same, because some DOP has lit it and the director's been happy, and then the DOP's gone and done the same thing with 5 other directors, and they all look the same.
It's all, I think all cooking oils have one code.
All templates.
All beauty ads have one code. I mean, I don't know. It's just like nobody overbrains it also. Yeah, this is the way it is and this is the way it's supposed to be.
Speaking of craft and all that, I feel I was looking back at your portfolio, and Swiggy Uncle, Phone Pay Girl in the City, Hotstar, Karna Keep Calm. I feel like you have somehow, you'll cringe, you've cracked IPL ads.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So do you think you have an approach to such short films, or or how do you just go after it when okay, I have an IPL ad to do?
If you're writing something which is beyond 20 seconds, and just expecting magic to happen and saying किसी तरह edit हो जाएगा, किसी तरह कर लेंगे यार, then you are already starting on the wrong wicket and only hoping some miracle will happen down the line. But I think so much experience and so many flops later, you know, boss, please write so little so that you have a little room to play. So write and fight there. Say itna hi aayega, and I fight like mad. Itna hi aayega. Nothing will be said. Like down to the voiceover, it cannot fit. To the point that you can hate me, but you hate me right now, then hate me later.
Yeah, but do you have a favorite of your IPL work?
I like the ones without any talk. But then came the next season where we could not do that anymore because there was new things to support,
too much
interoperability and so then how do you break this same stuff? And I think most likely restrictions become your spark, motivation.
Yeah.
So very honestly speaking, we had very little time for production. So at the same time, I think the client said that, see, I want to premiumize my brand because I think everybody is using PhonePe, but right now the requirement is to make it premium. And the minute you say premium, everybody says, oh, they're going in limousines, they're doing some cool ass shit. But I understood what premium, at least the way I perceive premium is. I think it should be cool looking, something which is cool and relatable and maybe urban if you can.
Yeah.
So then, and at the same time, keeping all those restrictions, why don't we create a world? And then that's how that new girl in the city happened, saying it's just one girl. And probably if she's new in the city, she's just entered Bombay. And for me, that was also a strange thing. Everybody is in Bombay, but you've never made Bombay the story in some weird way. So like, in fact, all the writers and all of that, like, yeah, you're new in Bombay, you're studying some PG, you're doing something. And there's so much story over there. It's premium and cool and it's very English or whatever you can call it. I think that kind of they also identified, I think there's a new space. And then to get that one girl, that one protagonist and the various interactions she has, because if she's new in a city, obviously she'll be using her phone for various reasons or PhonePe for various reasons, and that could be a good center point for you to plug in. So you lick the premiumness part of it, and then after that, you just rip on the stories.
I mean, I just moved to Bangalore, so in my mind, I was like, Ramsam's writing about me. Because I kept coming to him and telling him stories about, oh, I got a new maid, and he was asking like these household problems. I was like, I am the inspiration. No. No, I was not. There was some book you found. You went to.
So I'd gone to a book exhibition, and there was this girl who was in that exhibition selling that book, and then I was like, hey man, and she had written a book, and I asked like, she's saying, I'm just trying to make ends meet and I'm just new to the city.
Cool.
And I was like, hey, this is a cool girl.
And that was one of her films also.
Yeah.
That she sells books.
She sells books. She's a writer kind of stuff.
Yeah. Very cool. Very fun.
Okay, so no drilling, no boys after 10, deposit 2 months rent.
No problem, auntie.
I don't have PhonePe.
जो भी ऐप है, इसे चल जाएगा.
बस इतना ही?
आंटी बस इतना ही.
Poems, not my thing.
Are short stories your thing?
Yeah. I actually have some other app.
PhonePe accepts money from any app, whatever's your thing.
Actually, I'll take this thing also.
Logistically is the most difficult thing you've ever pulled. Tell me, like, which was actually like making you shit bricks that this is not going to happen. It was very difficult to pull off.
I think for me, it was more than logically. We had done one ad for Netflix where there's 2 guys, PKVK, in one bar sitting and talking, and just talking about Selection Day.
Yeah.
So the brief was people should watch Selection Day. And so we said, what is the insight? What do you want as a response? They should go and watch Selection Day. I think that simplicity of that brief kind of said. So then thinking about it, saying, hey, why can't there be 2 buggers and a bar? Because who's a guy who can keep telling the other guy, say, hey, watch Selection Day. Drunk only can say. So then we just tripped on it. So we'll make this one guy telling the other guy, saying, Machan, you should watch Selection Day. You should watch Selection Day. You should watch Selection Day.
अगले हफ्ते अप्रेजल है वीके. पूरे साल रगड़ के क्या मिलेगा? ये पीनट्स. पीके तूने सिलेक्शन डे देखा क्या?
नहीं.
देख, फ्रंट फुट पे खेलना सीख जाएगा.
के सिलेक्शन डे में सब कुछ है, ड्रामा, मेलोड्रामा, एक्शन, लव, हेट, कंपैशन, पैशन, रिवेंज, खाली एक चीज नहीं है।
वो क्या है वीके?
एड्स।
Also had the characters in mind, saying like a Vijay Varma or whatever, something. He's just done Gully Boy, and Kumar Varun, who I'd seen in that he does some this Rahul Subramaniam, that kind of thing. So I thought these two buggers will be deadly. So all that, even the client was super cool. They just kind of agreed and everything. Yeah. And then we just wrote one series of stories. But then the panic, the shit that happened was the timing, where I just timed it with them, and the way they were performing, and I did a kind of 1 day rehearsal. And then I figured out that everything is 30 seconds. And
you had to give?
20 was the deal. And I am trying to cut the story and it's not happening. Because what is he saying? He's saying whatever he's saying. Then I just got and I panicked. I called everyone. I said, Machan, this is not happening. We should cancel. I called the client also and they said, what's wrong with you? Relax. I said, no, but this is not happening. I've timed it. I've actually shot the damn shit. Because it's just two people, you can do a scratch and all. But it's not happening. Then I just went to these actors and I said, dude, I know your method acting, your gully boy, everything, but I have a physical problem. Can you conceive it in a manner where you perform, but you don't have to, you perform it like in your own way. So in one of them, no, अरे इसमें comedy, emotion, ये वो सब thriller सब एक ही चीज़ नहीं है. Acts. So otherwise, it would have been performed in a different way, no?
Yeah.
इसमें comedy है, thriller है, action. So I think the way Vijay Varma just took this and put it, so something, this is how the actors were given the problem, just postponed the, invited them into participate in the problem. Obviously, they were great actors too, and they kind of got it, and then we knew that we had it in 20. I was shocked it happened in 20.
Anything you recall?
I think one shoot which was very interesting in terms of logistics was Aman Ki Asha. So this was they playing dumb charades across the border. This was for Times of India many years back. We did. So
iconic one.
Yeah, we shot it in Jaipur, near Jaipur on the desert, and we needed to cast people who looked like Pakistanis. And of course, the casting went around and caught the usual guys with beards and stuff. But none of them looked like Pakistanis. They just looked like people with beards. So it was kind of feeling very. Like it wasn't, and it's a great concept. We don't want to land it in a very like a stupid caricaturish way. So then one of my ADs actually flew down to Kashmir and went to a village, and he kept clicking photos and sending to us faces. And I kept saying, this person, this daughter, this old man, and all. So we flew like almost 15-20 people from the village into Rajasthan. These guys have never left their village in their lives. So from extreme cold, they've been taken to scorching heat. The moment they came, they're all sweating and we can't breathe because they can't take that heat.
Okay.
And they were all non-actors. They were all like fresh. So, and it was a very tight budget ad. So we had to literally spend money. But we felt that, look, casting these guys will make all the difference. And then they just gave us non-acting kind of, they just great faces, great texture on there, And so that was a really good thing, and their reward was that after the shoot, we'll give you a free trip to that Ajmer Sharif was there, right close by. So they would, and then one of the 90-year-old man who got lost, he disappeared because we couldn't find him after the shoot. So there was this chaos trying to trace this guy, and we didn't want to be blamed for him. I mean, of course, finally he didn't make it way back to his village miraculously, and that's another story. But some of the older people who didn't get lost came back and they cried and they came and hugged us, and we actually got to get out of a village. We not even left our village. We not even been to Srinagar, and for us to be in an airport, in a flight, to come to this place and see Ajmer Sharif was just the biggest gift. They didn't want money. We said, of course, we paid them, but so yeah, I think those kind of things we have done, pulled off things where we.
4 वर्ड है. पहला दिल हाँ. खोलना, फूल खिलते हैं गुलशन. नहीं, शाहरुख खान की पिक्चर है. दूसरा वर्ड, शर्माती है, हीरोइन शर्माती है. हीरोइन दुल्हन है, चली जाती है, भाग जाते, घोड़े पे भगा लेता हीरो. हीरो का दिल, दुल्हन जाना, जाएंगे. मिल गया। और मंजीत रेडियो स्टेशन को फोन लगा जल्दी।
ऑल इंडिया रेडियो एक फरमाइश है।
आप सुन रहे हैं ऑल इंडिया रेडियो का रंगारंग कार्यक्रम। अगली फरमाइश दिलवाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे।
नजर में रहते हो जब तुम नजर नहीं आते, ये सुर मिलाते हैं जब तुम इधर नहीं आते, ये सुर बुलाते हैं जब तुम इधर नहीं आते.
Otherwise, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, we're starting out, we used to do films for 20,000, ads for 22,000 and all that, where the money would be so little that just for client presentation, we would hire an online studio for 1 hour. And that cost 4,000 rupees for a machine for an hour. And we're just hoping the client is not giving too much of feedback. Not that we don't want to do it, but because after that hour, we'll be charged another 4,000 bucks.
But actually, the logistical nightmare is the right question to ask producers. You should ask Vada, Tushar.
Yeah.
They will tell you the real
What is going on?
stories because we are kind of shielded from it sometimes.
Yeah. Your partner is an editor who's done incredible work. You've worked with her, right? Of course.
Of course.
Initially, you should not know. I mean, sometimes you should not work with her.
Bold
also.
move, by the way.
Yeah.
Or she did not want to work with you or something like that.
That
could be possible.
That's not just not her. A lot of people don't want to work.
No, but it's incredibly brave to work with a partner. But do you critique each other's work and do you like comment on?
Totally.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you guys take it nicely?
No, it is not.
Have you met his wife? Have you met her?
No, I'm not.
She
I've not had
is,
the honor.
I think brutal. I don't think she means.
No, we've both. I mean, it's an undesirable thing to do, like, working together on. But the problem is, but she's such a great editor.
She is. Yeah.
If I look at it objectively, and I know that a lot of the scripts or films I made, she's actually a co-script writer with me. Like the idea of
the stories in the edit table.
Because I need a bounce board, and a lot of my stuff happens when I walk at home in the night. And as soon as I get an idea, I go and ask her, what do you think? So a lot of jamming has happened at home, where I've of course taken the credit for changes, but it's her who's been giving me those ideas. So like for instance, Kaddu came from her.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you say Kaddu?
And she's so unfilm-like. It's what.
So she shares the same
completely out of this film school kind of a thing, but she's one of the top editors. But still, her sensibilities are as
great. We share the great sense of humor. I mean, we have the sense of humor. Like a house, we all keep cracking jokes all the time. So amongst the kids, everybody's got a little witty angle. But so she gets that, and then I know that as an editor, she adds a lot of value in terms of thinking. Not just an editor, not somebody who's just cutting input and output and putting it together or something, but in terms of how to land something. So there's a lot of that, and I know that when I miss that, when on certain jobs I really need that. But we also fight a lot, we also have disagreements, and that translates into food and other things as well. So it's a problem. And
any ad you guys have worked on together?
So last couple of years I've worked a lot with her. The worst was MP Tourism.
Please tell.
We were doing this MP Tourism ad, which is hand shadowgraphy.
I love it.
And it was a very low budget ad, so we didn't have money for a fancy online and CG and VFX. And the whole idea was to do it as live as possible. So we shot a lot of hand figures, and then we were compositing it as layers to tell. So the tree is one hand figure, and then the tiger is another hand. Now we were animating it on the edit.
Okay.
So there were multiple layers of elements which we are putting, and because it can't be given on online level, we can't time it. The way the tiger would jump or where something else would move or some element, they had to be timed with a certain kind of pacing and stuff. And I know that she would get it and I would get it, and we could do it. So those days we did it on the laptop because we were doing it on her laptop when we were editing. And that's the time we were expecting our first child. And we knew that the ad had to be presented and launched on a certain there was a tourism day or something. It was an important thing with the chief minister. Somebody was unveiling that film, so that deadline was there, and suddenly we had our first child decided to come a little early. So right in the middle of delivery, it had to just go out of the machine and would have to go online. But then the delivery happened, and then no pressure from anybody. But I was feeling guilty, and she also said, "Look, it's stuck because all the elements were in that laptop, and I had no idea how to operate that as well." So after delivery happened, and then she was better. Then the first thing I did is, can you please just give me a dump out?
Such a director thing to do.
Just
And deliver this
so
baby.
we and so much so that when we're tracking for it, the baby would kick inside. We would say, okay, this guy is going to be like an MP tourism kid, because she had to just press one button, like dump out, and then it would go. So I just took the laptop to her and just pressed it, do this.
MP अजब है, सबसे गजब है, एक नहीं दो नहीं सैकड़ों यहाँ शेर हैं, पेच में था मोगली का नाम 12 सिंह हैं, MP अजब है, मांडू का महल है कि जहाज है, कोई तो बताए, जय विलास के झूमर संग 10 हाथी लटके, सोच के सर चकराए, MP अजब है, अरे सबसे गजब है, संगमरमर खुदता नहीं, छूता आसमान है, और साची देता सबको शांति का फरमान है, MP अजब है, अरे सबसे गजब है.
But we're great collaborators also. Like I really respect her perspective, and so yeah, that kind of tuning is there. So
This beat you can put it in loop and send it to her saying, see how much I love you.
So I think there's one thing that we always ask people, like, okay, for the young audience that is watching, who's a writer probably trying to be a director, or a person who's in film school trying to be a director, we always ask, what would you tell them? Like, how should they try to do what you are doing? Like today, if a writer approaches you and tells you, okay, I want to direct Ramsam, what would you tell them? How they should go about it?
I think one is always surround yourself with people whose work you respect, and don't shy away from any kind of job, because the first kind of jobs that happen are not very fancy. Straight away you won't get any silk or anything, right? You get some absolutely random 6-second promo ad, but then there is, every single time you are meeting a lot of creative people, and any time that collaboration can just strike, and probably you've done some random 6-second film, but then you've hit it off with probably even the client or the writer or whoever, and then that will lead to the next and the next. And even if it doesn't lead to, I think the more and more you do, the more and more you surround with really interesting creative folks, the higher the chances are, because this is the kind of a job, probably the only kind of a job. Everything else, probably there could be a school which could educate you more, but advertising or direction for advertising also is something that you unfortunately learn only on the job. And the more the rejections, the richer your experience. And so just be at it and surround yourself with extremely interesting creative
You wouldn't
folk.
advise them to have a script like Balke advised you?
If that's your trip, keep doing, keep trying everything, bounce off, trespassers will be forced to read my screenplay, that kind of stuff. Do that. Every time you find an opportunity, bounce it off people who you respect, and be constantly.
So what advice do you give people who are trying to break into, like you're saying, directors are like a league, you have to try to break into all of that. So what advice do you give people who are trying?
I think I feel like a director should have a voice. I think that unique identity, I'm not saying you should do a certain genre of films, but there's a perspective or something which is so unique
perspective that you need.
So there is such a unique voice a director gets that only he can get, and somebody wants to work with you because only you can bring that to the table. So you have to figure out your voice. And I think a couple of things are very important. I keep telling my ADs that we are in a creative medium, you have to be observation. Like everything comes out of observation. You can be in the most fertile, rich environment, but if you're putting AirPods in your ear and sleeping or glasses or whatever, you're not listening to conversations, you're not seeing what's around you, you're cancelling out all that rich memories or information which could have come to you. So, and I feel a lot of people are just so, they're so focused on what they want to do or the task at hand that they just miss out on the environment around them. They just got blinkers. So I think people have stopped observing things. Second is, I think a lot of people don't have a point of view or take on what. So because all of us can observe an incident, but the way we will tell that story to somebody else is going to be so differently. It's going to be so unique. Like I might say it with humor, somebody might say it with emotion. And what is your voice? How do you look at things? How do you react to things? What are your pet peeves? What are your things you like?
And also people restrict themselves very much to that role, man. Like a director, the job starts with the script. So you have to be involved right in even if you've not written the script, and it goes on till the postcard down edit. People who are aspiring to be one, they only look at the creamiest part of it. They just come there and they just go. So there are DAs who will never attend a post session, or who are not interested in what the script was or in its translation or dubs or anything like that. So everything is similarly. Even as a writer also, your job doesn't end once you sold it to the director. I think it continues till the down edit happens and to the 6-second mute tag, I guess.
Yeah.
And too much time people are spending looking at references.
Oh, that is another.
They just look at references. They look at all the this and that and all, and they think it's craft. But of course you need to have a good understanding of your technique, not technology, but technique of how you want to. It helps you. You know your lensing, you know your, everything. But as fundamentally creative people, you have to be observant and you have to have something interesting to say in a very interesting way. Yeah. If that is absent, then everything else will collapse. And I just, like Ramsam said, the biggest problem is that when people now work, the aim is to how do I become a director very fast? Or I see assisting somebody as a income. Like every person now is like, how many days of prep I have to give? They look at it as work, prep. I can't do post. Of course, there are realities of living in the city. Things are expensive. You need to make an income. But the point is that you're not making money as assistants any which ways. But what is really valuable is your time, and make that count. You see writers becoming directors. So I feel directors need to maybe start writing. Because most of the guys who are working in production houses of films think that just by learning lighting, lensing, watching some films, referencing here, referencing, they're becoming directors. But and you can see that they have zero sense of script. Because your starting point and end point is the script, the material which comes to you. You have to see it and you have to know how to now take it to somewhere and land it in an effective way. So I feel writers are making better directors because they are actually doing what it takes to. And a lot of youngsters, I feel, they think writing a script comes and then they start immediately thinking of camera angles or what look I give, what kind of costume, where is the framing, what kind of music do I put. They're just not sitting with the material and saying, how do I?
If you ask those same people of who are their favorite directors, I think I want to tell them that please go and see that film again and see what happens in the end when the credits roll. It says mostly writer-director. So don't ignore the writer part of it. Or he would have written additional screenplay. I'm not everyone, but then they are involved in the...
Like I can't write. And for me, like I said, I hate shoots, I hate edits, but I love the most is sitting with a writer. Because a great, intelligent writer, you get his respect and then you jam with him. It's like full of ideas, like it's not writing dialogues, it's just coming up with the idea, coming with an observation and an insight, and that's such amazing fertile territory to then dive into and jointly create something, So
it's a thrilling process when people are just throwing ideas and suddenly
and I think when somebody experiences one time, it's like a taste of blood. They will love it.
That is the biggest high.
This is such a fun thing.
Rest is all execution.
Execution.
Rest you're just like you're using craft. So people have a wrong notion of what craft is. They think it's like cool shots and cool music. I feel like looking at material and doing something with it as a director, you have to do that. And I also think a lot of people have stopped reading. I think people don't read anymore.
Correct.
I know.
Except Instagram and whatever this thing, but I think
captions
just
people are
genuinely reading fiction or non-fiction or even reading the newspaper to be aware. I'm not having a point of view. Everybody nowadays has a point of view, but just absorbing.
And also living a life probably.
Living a life, that also,
Interesting. What are you most excited for next? Or excited to do? If nothing is in the books right now.
I think for me, excitement is when I get a script, which is excitement.
And for me, the excitement probably to give him a script like that.
Or for the next holiday. I love traveling and I look forward to that. So.
What about you, Ramsam?
I would like to make a film. Sometime,
Long?
Long. I'm saying long is beyond the length of half an hour.
So, Irove Part 2?
Probably. Something like that.
Interesting. Okay. All right, that's more than the questions we had because I think we just flew into conversation.
Superb.
But it was so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on
Hey,
board.
the gift.
The gift! Recorder, cassette player?
Cassette thing.
I think of all the functions, I like the one where it jumps out.
Yeah.
It
Press
is
the
so
side
good.
button.
There's a side button.
This is my new stress ball substitute.
All right. Thank you so much, Vinil and Mathew. Thank you so much, Rajesh Ramaswamy. It's so weird to call you that.
Thank you.
But thank you for
Namrata,
coming on
for
board.
patiently listening
It was so
to
fun.
all our
It was so
ramblings.
Ramblings, yeah.
Hope you enjoyed it and yeah, maybe we'll do part 3 soon.
Awesome.
Okay.
Super.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. Your favorite time.
Yeah. Run.
Thankfully, I was not directing it, so I don't.
Yeah.
And that's the best job of when you're an actor and not a director. No, the best
Yeah,
thing
you
is
can
that
just go
you can see a director getting stewed while you are like chilling.